Salutation, respected viewers. Here I am at 36 Eaton Place, London. And this is the house where Sir Henry Wilson resided. Sir Henry Wilson deserves to be better known. He was one of the most distinguished Irishmen of the early 20th century. And it was on these very steps where he met his death on the 22nd of June 1922. So Sir Henry was from County Longford. He lived at Curry Grant House there. He went to public school in Great Britain and later to Sandhurst, that's the Royal Military Academy. So he was an officer in the British Army and he served with great distinction in several theatres. In the First World War he rose to very senior rank and was eventually Chief of Imperial General Staff. He was a unionist by politics, and he did not want the major portion of Ireland to leave the United Kingdom, and that was happening, but he acted as a security advisor to the government of Northern Ireland. He described the Treaty of 1921 as a cowardly surrender to the pistol. He was also elected an MP for Stormont constituency, and there was loyalist terrorists who were carrying out bestial attacks on the Catholic civil population in the north. So Michael Collins, with a certain want of logic, blames Sir Henry Wilson. I don't know of any evidence that Sir Henry was involved in this directly or indirectly. It's certainly true that many ghastly crimes were carried out by the Ulster Protestant Association, that was a loyalist terrorist force, and the IRA, who were killing Protestant civilians. Now, there is some confusion as to why he was shot. Did Collins give an order or not? On the 11th of July 1921, a truce had been agreed between the Crown Forces and the IRA, and here almost a year later Wilson was shot dead. I won't go into it, but the treaty was signed on the 6th of December 1921, and there was the anti-treaty faction within the IRA who wouldn't agree to an oath of allegiance to George V or to Crown Forces bases in the south of Ireland or the north, wouldn't agree to partition, although partition was a strangely minor objection from them at the time. And anyway, a few other things. So some of them wanted to goad the United Kingdom into military action, wanted to restart the conflict. Collins and those of his ilk, they were Republicans, but they recognised that they were not making progress, and in fact they could easily be defeated, especially those in 1921, especially if there's a recrudescence of the conflict in 22. So that's why he found it politique to try and honour this agreement. Anyway, two IRA men here in London, Reggie Dunn and Joseph O'Sullivan, went to Liverpool Street Station, where Sir Henry was unveiling a plaque, a memorial to all those railwaymen from that station who had been killed in the Great War. They followed Sir Henry back here by taxi, and they got out of here and they shot him dead on the steps. They shot him 6 times, 2 of the bullets hit his chest. It's claimed that one of the first bullet missed. Now, one source said that he drew his sword and called them cowardly fiends or something like that. Others say no, that was a later embellishment by a newspaper to try and make the scene more poignant and the man appear more valiant. But anyway, he certainly died. One of the IRA men who killed him had only one leg. They'd both been in the British Army in the First World War, so one of them had lost a leg at Ypres. And they attempted to flee on foot, which was not bright. They were chased. They shot 3 more people. I don't know, those 3 other people died, but they're surrounded by a crowd and soon arrested. Well, when it came to their trial, they were sunk. They had been witnessed by adults in broad daylight committing this crime. They were caught in possession of the murder weapons with their fingerprints all over them. They freely confessed what they'd done from the first, and that was that. So it was an open and shut case. They were sentenced to death. So Collins wanted to rescue them. It didn't actually happen. Some IRA men came over with a view to trying to effect their escape. But anyway, they were hanged a couple of months later. But only 4 days after Sir Henry was shot dead,